Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba Hashem, Rakakwadash. The honors to the apostles, the elders, salutations to you, sincere brothers, teaching in truth and sincerity. Lesson will be entitled, Final Destination is the Working of the Most High. Lord will, you are edified. Video was inspired by two videos. First video comes from the TikTok platform CBS Mornings, fair use. As you can see, man dies after being sucked into MRI machine while wearing metal necklace. I repeat, man dies after being sucked into MRI machine while wearing metal necklace.
A man who was pulled into an MRI machine in New York has died. Police say the 61-year-old was wearing a metallic necklace when he walked into a room where a scan was underway. That's when the machine's strong magnetic force attracted the chain. Police say he had entered the room without authorization. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition after the incident and died the next day. Experts say an MRI's magnetic force is strong enough to fling a wheelchair across a room. A man who was pulled into an MRI
Second video gives more information.
machine.
This is like some
Same platform, TikTok. Comes from Crime Time, Tea Time, fair use. And this is the man.
something out of a Final Destination movie, but it happened in real life. It all went down this past Wednesday afternoon at 4:30 when 911 gets a call for an emergency at NASA Open MRI in Westbury, New York. 61-year-old Keith McAllister had brought his wife Adrian in for an MRI of her knee. Here's where the story starts to differ. Adrian says the technician brought Keith into the room so that he could help her get out of the machine. The employees say Adrian started to shout out for help, which caused Keith to come running into the room. Employees say they were telling him not to open the door because the machine was in use, but he entered regardless. Either way, when Keith McAllister opened the door, the MRI machine started reacting to the 20-pound chain around his neck. The machine started pulling Keith into the machine, choking him. The chain had a large lock on the end, so they weren't able to get it off. And the technician and Adrian tried pulling him away from the machine, but they were unable. Adrian says her husband waved goodbye and his body went limp in her arms. Keith was then transported to a local hospital, but died the next day after succumbing to his injuries.
I saw when he walked towards the table. I seen when he turned towards me, and I saw the machine snatch him around and slam pull him into the machine. He died. He went limp in my arms.
Proverbs 20 and 24. Man's goings are of Yahweh. How can a man then understand his own way? Everything on earth is predestined. It was scripted in the spiritual realm, and it plays out on earth. So man's goings are of Yahweh. Keith McAllister's goings was of Yahweh. This final destination was of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh. This is judgment. What is final destination? According to AI Overview, refers to the ultimate or last place where something or someone is intended to be delivered or reached. It's the end point of a journey or process. And in the case of Keith McAllister, his life. Okay, so he was instructed to take his wife to that MRI facility, to go into that room, to attempt to rescue her so the Most High could put judgment on him. Period.
the machine. The employees say Adrian started to shout out for help, which caused Keith to come running into the room.
Man's goings are of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushua.
Employees say they were telling him not to open the door because the machine was in use, but he entered regardless. Either way, when Keith McAllister opened the
And this was Keith McAllister's final destination, referring to what? It's the end point of a journey or process. So that MRI machine was the end point of Keith McAllister's life.
door, the MRI machine started reacting to the 20-pound chain around his neck. The machine started pulling Keith into the machine, choking him. The chain had a large lock.
Hebrews 10:31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. And the Most High has a title, King of Terrors. Okay, this is absolutely terrifying. Died after a MRI machine started pulling his chain necklace into the machine. The chain was locked on, causing him to not be able to get it off in time. Ecclesiasticus 39 and verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, angels, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. And regarding Keith McAllister, him being sucked into that MRI machine. In the time of destruction, they poured out their force. His wife started screaming. He came in attempting to save her. Now, staff informed him not to open the door, but he did it anyway, and appeased the wrath of him that made them. Who made the angels? Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushua. So this incident appeased the Most High because it was judgment brought on Keith McAllister. Fire and hell and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. In the case of Keith McAllister, that MRI machine, teeth of wild beasts, that MRI machine, and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. And the reason why he went out like he did, because he was wicked. Verse 31. They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready on earth when need is, and when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. At that very moment, that minute, that second, that hour, it was time for that angel or angels to get busy, to manipulate Keith's mind, to open that door, to set up the stage so his wife would beg or scream out for assistance, to compel him to run up in there. Because ultimately, that play was to bring judgment on him. Lord will, this was edifying. Shalom.